Hytale from Hypixel Studios has been saved. Simon Hypixel announced on the official site what's going to happen with their game now. And besides that, in today's video, Activision was very close to buying Mojang and with it, Minecraft itself. We'll also talk about how the creator of a massive Steam hit, Megabonk, is pulling out of his The Game Awards nomination. The whole Hytale story begins back in 2015, when Riot Games funded the developers behind the Hypixel multiplayer server.
That's when the first info appeared that they were working on something called Hytale, and Riot, of course, wanted to be actively involved. Later on, 5 years ago in 2020, Riot fully acquired the studio responsible for Hytale and became the game's official publisher. The vision included not just a classic world like in Minecraft, but also mini-games, RPG-style boss fights, and various dungeons. We also found out they wanted to introduce an advanced scripting system so players could create servers and make their own assets. Basically mods. Unfortunately, at some points, the development hit serious technical and logistical issues. The devs' ambitious vision and the growing scope made the project way too complicated. It's not like they gave up instantly. They tried resetting things, tried changing the engine, but nothing worked. And on June 23, 2025, we learned that Hytale was being cancelled. That decision also came with the layoff of around 150 Hypixel Studios employees by Riot Games. It's worth saying that when Riot became the full owner of Hypixel Studios in 2020, the two biggest heads behind it, Simon Collins-Laflamme, Hypixel, and Philippe Touchette, left the team. So when the cancellation news spread online, it immediately reached Hypixel. And when Riot threw Hytale into the trash and wrote it off completely, Collins and Touchette took a massive risk and offered to buy the entire project back from Riot. Negotiations took weeks, but we're now at the point where Collins and Touchette have officially announced that the studio has regained 100% ownership of Hytale from Riot Games. The studio is fully independent again, and the founders personally committed to funding Hytale out of their own pocket for the next 10 years. I wouldn't worry about money in their case, since they run the biggest Minecraft server in existence. They're loaded. Honestly, it's awesome to see that in this whole industry, it isn't always the money that wins, but the passion of the people behind the project. Right after regaining Hytale, they reinstated 30 developers who knew the game inside out. On the official site, Hytale.com, a long post appeared where Hypixel explained the decisions behind the comeback and what's changing. One of the most important decisions was abandoning the newer but unfinished engine. Originally, Hypixel Studios built their own engine because no existing tech met their needs. The early client was written in C# and was PC only, meaning the game couldn't come to PS5 or Xbox Series. They worked on it for about 3 to 4 years, and it was the engine used in the trailers. Later, Riot pushed them to switch to a cross-platform engine written in C++, which finally allowed the game to run across multiple platforms. But this engine lagged way behind in gameplay mechanics and needed around 2 more years of work before it could even qualify for early access. So now the reborn Hypixel Studios is going back to the legacy engine, the one that's already playable, so they can actually build the game instead of wasting years on tech development. As for cross-platform, they'll work on it slowly. No rushing. The devs say they already have around 100 NPCs implemented and thousands of blocks and items, though many still need proper configuration. Early access is planned in a few days, but the date, details, and price will be announced later. The early access version will include an exploration mode, creative mode, and modding. What won't be available at launch are minigames and adventure mode, both planned for later updates. The minigames will be handled by a dedicated team experienced in that field. The developers warn that players should expect bugs, rough edges, unbalanced content, and frequent updates that may break saves or features. Their initial priority is polishing the living world, core mechanics, modding, and the sandbox experience. When it comes to modding, now that Hytale's back under Hypixel Studios, modding is considered essential for the game's long-term survival. The team plans to give players as many tools as possible from day one. They're open to ideas, so almost everything will be moddable. The team is small but highly trusted, which means fast decision-making and quick action. They promise fast communication and frequent updates. As Hypixel put it at the end, Hytale lives. Right after the announcement, a 60-minute gameplay video called Breaking the Curse appeared. It shows the player fighting monsters, shooting a bow, swinging a sword, and honestly, it looks really good considering it runs on a 5-year-old version of the engine. We get to see a bunch of different locations: dungeons, eerie dark forests, regular forests, and more. The HUD is visible too. Hearts, stamina, inventory slots, very Minecraft-like as expected. On the right side, you can see sword abilities, basic attack, block, shield, and so on. The description under the video says it was recorded one morning by Simon himself and stitched together quickly. It also mentions this is the 2018 Legacy engine, and that there's still a long road ahead, but early access is coming soon. There's also a note from Simon saying, "I promised players videos, screenshots, and posts. One day after the takeover, I'm keeping that promise. Here's the first gameplay in a long time. I'm going back to work on early access, and the team will share more clips and screenshots soon." And the last two lines are great. They tie into the title, Breaking the Curse. "It matters to me that we release raw footage today, because it breaks the curse once and for all. Expect more. Curse breakers, more is coming." In 2022, Annapurna Interactive released a trailer for Silent Hill Townhall, a collaboration between Annapurna and Konami. To this day, we still know very little about the project. And since pretty much every studio under Konami seems to be making their own Silent Hill, Annapurna's turn is probably coming soon. This leak came from Liverpool, Mexico's online store, where Silent Hill Townhall appeared with a release date of March 26, 2026. The listing was removed, but people saved screenshots. Rachel Ashman, a person associated with the Silent Hill series, commented on Twitter saying the date is too specific to be a placeholder. And if that release date leaked early, Konami will likely announce it soon. This lines up perfectly with the upcoming Xbox partner preview on November 20th. It's an event focused on third-party studios. Microsoft didn't reveal the runtime, but we can expect around 30 to 40 minutes. One thing's sure, we can rule out new Gears of War, Forza Horizon 6, or Fable 4. But the devs confirmed we'll see new footage from 007 First Light, Tides of Annihilation, and Reanimal. The show will be hosted by Jennifer English, the voice actress who plays the protagonist in Tides of Annihilation, and who also voiced Mael in Claire Obscura, Expedition 33. She's even nominated for Best Performance at this year's The Game Awards. Speaking of The Game Awards, this year's show had a bunch of expected choices and a bunch of surprising ones. In general, the whole lineup looks much stronger than in previous years. Let's stop at the Best Indie Debut category. We've got Blueprints, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33, Despelade, Dispatch, and Megabonk. Wedinat, the creator of the massive Steam hit Megabonk, announced on Twitter that he's pulling out of the Game Awards. He said that while the nomination is a huge honor, he doesn't feel his game fits the Best Indie Debut category. He admitted he made other games in the past under different studio names, so Megabonk isn't actually his debut. And here's where it gets funny. Wedinat is the same person behind Crab Game. Crab Game was made by Denny Dev, and if you flip the nickname Wedinat, well, you can see what's going on. Daniel William Suman, his real name, once announced a big project called Carlson. But the hype and expectations grew so much, he felt crushed and burned out. He took a long break, got harassed online for no clear reason, and at some point reappeared under the new nickname Wedinat and released Megabonk. But hey, that's all speculation and theory, so don't take it as 100% fact. Jeff Keighley, the organizer of the Game Awards, responded to the announcement and said they appreciate his honesty. Megabonk will be removed from the category. He said Wedinat can share his story when he's ready, and that they respect that he doesn't want to take the spotlight away from true debut teams. Even though his game is excellent, one of the most popular games ever could have had a completely different future and gone in a totally different direction. We all know that on September 15th, 2014, Microsoft announced they were buying Mojang along with Minecraft. Everything that happened afterward, the good and bad eras, we all remember. 2014 was the moment Minecraft exploded, and the biggest publishers wanted a piece of it. Before Microsoft bought it, Activision was seriously interested. We learned this thanks to the Rashmore podcast, where former Activision CEO Bobby Kotick appeared. In the middle of the conversation, the host Emmanuel asked if he ever played Minecraft. He said yes, and that he was actually close to buying it. I had to spend 5 days in Stockholm with Notch, the founder of the studio, and we offered him $1.5 billion. Interestingly, Notch himself discouraged Kotick from buying the studio, telling him that he would be leaving along with key employees. Kotick said he had no interest in managing the company. He just wanted the people who would continue to develop Minecraft and release updates for him. Back then, Mojang had around 30 employees. If Notch left and took key devs with him, even fewer would remain. Later, Notch called Kotick saying Microsoft was offering him $2.5 billion. Kotick replied, "That's funny. I'll go with you to buy the plane, but you've got to accept that offer. And the irony is wild. History shows Microsoft did buy Mojang for $2.5 billion. But guess what happened later? Minecraft still ended up under Microsoft. Because in 2023, they bought the entire Activision Blizzard for $69 billion. Sure, there are conspiracy theories like, if Activision got Minecraft, they would have become as big as Microsoft. But let's stay grounded. Thanks for watching the video. Bye!